All right, everybody, how you doing? My name is Todd Richards. I'm with Tick, and we go out and find interesting people who have interesting hobbies or jobs and find out what makes them tick. And today, I have Danny Black. He is an American that is living in Australia, a musician, and he is a full-time YouTube product reviewer. So, welcome to the show, and
Thank
this
you.
would be
Nice to
pretty
be here.
be pretty interesting to find out why. Well, I guess the first question: what kind of music do you
No,
play?
you're missing an opportunity. You have to say what makes you tick.
Well, I'm going to get. We're going to get into that. Is
Oh, okay.
why?
Yeah.
What kind of music do you play?
Okay. Uh, Sorry, is there a follow-up to that as well?
Oh, there will be. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
but what kind of music do you?
Um,
Is
what
it
kind of
just
so I'm I started out as a solo musician, doing the looping and acoustic guitar, doing a lot of covers and playing on cruise ships around the world, the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, traveled the US. I did about like 200 200,000 miles or something, no, something ridiculous, like just back and forth, up and down. And then I did some cruise ships out in Australia and then kind of ended up out here.
yeah? And then that was the next question: is why Australia?
Yeah. Well, the girl living next door to me on the ship was
Of
a
course.
hula hooper and very, very pretty and very lovely. And yeah, so we hit it off and yeah, been together ever since.
Yep. See, I was going to say it's probably a woman's involved in that somewhere, right?
It's
So
always a
it's always,
dame. Yeah.
yeah, there's always something like that. So the cruise ship life, if anybody watches, that'll be one of the things I'll put on there is all your all your links and things like that to all your accounts. We'll put that on there so people can watch
Cool.
your crazy what would you just do? You just did the 80s
Yeah,
cruise,
I did an
which
80s cruise.
which
Yeah.
was pretty crazy. So that looks like that's a good time.
Yeah. And
So is
I
that
might bring back some more like videos of those experiences to the channel. It was just it's one of the tricky parts, and I'm not trying to jump into the like further into later conversations, but it's as you grow the channel in a certain niche, it's hard to just jump
right?
away and go
Right.
and throw everyone off. So I want to be very, very smart about it, but at the same time too, like it's also nice to just enjoy those cruises. I mean, they're a lot of work performing for people on those ships and everyone's dancing and you're out till really late, not realizing it. And then, by the time you wake up, you got to start another show versus make some videos, like
Yeah.
you got to pick and choose what you want to do.
Is is that a tough life living on a boat for a while?
Uh, the longest I've done is 6 month contracts, and it's not tough. It's actually it's if you like don't have a lot of possessions, it's probably one of the best lives because you don't have you don't have to be paying for cars and insurance and you don't have to worry about your TVs and all this stuff. It's just like you live on a boat, you're making money, you're enjoying the company of other people. I mean, I'd say more so as a musician versus like, if you're a house cleaner um on the ship because you have a little bit more time, but it's a really nice and enjoyable life. By the 6th month, you're a little bit stir crazy. You're like really excited. The first month, it takes a month to get used to it. And then you take those 4 months, you're like, you're going to the gym at the same time, certain times you eat, all that stuff. You get in a really good groove. By the last month, you're like, you're getting off soon and you're like excited to go see your family and all that stuff.
You get a little, yeah, you get the little jumps and jitters of
Yeah.
yeah, because you know the time's coming close. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's one thing I've seen some other, I'm always digging around looking for people that come on the show and cruise life people, people who work on the cruise ship seems to be pretty interesting because you really don't, when I've been on a cruise and you don't really think of, those the people like that, where's all this staff live and what do they do? And you just assume they do kind of the same thing you do as a regular passenger. So, but I've
Yeah.
learned they do not.
It's slightly different, but it's also I want to be clear, it's not as um like hard, and it's not like it's a lot of people go on and say like, they're not getting paid fair wages and stuff like that, but I can disprove that by just saying, why do they come back? They work
Yeah.
10 years, 20 years on this, on these cruise ships. If it was bad, they wouldn't do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
you do it one time and you'd be done.
so, and I think a lot of people don't understand like, currencies and things, like for what they're getting paid on the ship is way better than what they'd be getting paid at home. And it's just a completely different, you can't think of it like my pay versus their pay. It's just a different life, like,
Right. Yeah.
from where you live. So
Yeah. So you just traveled all over the place, just
yeah,
different cruise ships and
different cruise ships, all like seriously all over America. Like there's probably a road that I did not, like probably not a road that I didn't travel down. Like it was insane. How much, because I met so many people from America on these cruise ships,
oh yeah.
and they were like, hey, can you play my son's graduation party or my wedding or this? I have a local brewery. And so I was just like kind of lining it up, and just it
Yeah.
started out kind of a small thing, and it just turned out bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was just a kind of like that was a lifestyle for me for 2 years, living out of a minivan and staying at people's houses and stuff like that. It was a fun life, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't do it again.
You try to get yeah, you get a little bit older and you realize, man, that's brutal
It is
on you.
brutal.
Brutal on you. So then you ended up going to Australia and then you played there for a while and ended
Yeah,
up getting
so
married and
did two contracts out of Australia. Love the Australian people. Love. I didn't spend a lot of time in Australia because I was on those ships, basically leaving. I was out
right.
like in Sydney and stuff all the time, and then when I moved out here, yeah, it was just great. People are awesome out here. I live in Brisbane, and it's not quite on the map as far as a lot of people don't really Brisbane. They don't know what it is, but if you were here, you'd be like, this is like one of the coolest places you've ever been. It's insane.
So was it tough to be an immigrant the other, everybody talks about, everybody immigrates to the US, but you went
No,
the
I
other.
think here, I mean, they get a lot of people, especially more so probably from Asia,
Oh,
because it's so close. But yeah, they get a lot of people immigrating. I don't know if that's kind of an interesting term. It's almost like you want to just say like migrating, but
yeah.
it's like because I'm a resident, not necessarily an immigrant. I don't have like a green card. It's like I have a resident visa and I can apply
All right.
for a citizenship if I want, but there's no real upside to becoming a citizen yet. We'll see
Hmm.
what happens in America
Yeah.
if I need to
Yeah. You
if I
need to.
need to switch over.
Yep.
But that
Yeah. Oh,
is,
yeah.
I will say that's one thing about being out here. Things that happen over there, it's almost like I'm watching with the popcorn. It's like I feel it sucks. It's a kind of a bit of a soap opera, really. Every day I turn on the TV and I'm like, oh, what's happening today in America? Like, and you get addicted to it a bit. Maybe it's like that for you still
Oh,
in
yeah.
America, but
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We get to watch it live though. So we're, pretty close to live, within a couple of
yeah.
hours, something happens and we know about it. But yeah. So yeah, sometimes it's crazy. You watch TV and go, what the hell's going on? Um, so I guess the next one would be what brought you to YouTube? Was it the music first?
What brought me to YouTube was actually, I think it would have been a huge portion of Casey Neistat. So I watched his videos, and before I was a musician, I actually worked as a video editor.
Oh,
So I did that for like maybe 10 years. And but then when you're doing other people's projects, if you're working for other people as a video editor, it kind of sucks. And it just feels like there's not a lot going on in life. That's why I needed that change of getting out, traveling,
right.
playing music. So I watched Casey Neistat and I was like, my life's interesting. I could vlog my life. We're about to do this big road trip around Australia. It'd be really cool to do that. And in your head, you think when you start doing it, you're gonna get so many people watching you, just as many as he had, which was absolutely the opposite of what happened. So if I had to do it again, I would do it completely different. But it's fun to at least document it and then look back on them, like
Right.
those videos. So that was kind of it. I saw that, and I think it was like I didn't feel like my music career was ever going to like make me famous. I don't necessarily want to be famous, but like I want to grow. I want to feel like I'm accomplishing. Like if you're playing a video game, I want to get to that next level,
Right.
like
Yeah.
that's the goal. And so I couldn't feel like there was a clear path musically to do that. Um and so I was like, on YouTube that could probably happen. I could be like you know, a figure on that. And it seemed like fun. Everyone was kind of getting along, and and also it'd be awesome to make that kind of income that he was making and have that kind of pull. So at that point, he was making like 2,000 US dollars a day, every video he put out every day. And that's
Wow.
just from like YouTube AdSense.
Oh
So it was
yeah.
like, and it was just like, that'd be cool to be like that successful on it, but it's not that easy.
No, it's a lot of work.
A
So
lot of work.
yeah. So then when did you move over to your
The reviews.
your product reviews? So
Yeah. Well, so it started out, I call them product reviews, but now I actually, in my intros, I say I like to share products, because I don't, I basically share what they do
right,
versus review them and say, this sucks. Because if it's a microphone, um, I would say, like, here's what it sounds like. This is what you clicked on. You want to hear what it sounds like. You want to know what the features it does.
right,
I'm not going to be like, this other microphone's way better, because that's not why they're there. I mean, they're just there to basically see that. And then they
right,
can watch that other review if they want to
right,
compare it. So that was my main thing. I didn't want to be caught up in like a review. It's just more like cool gear. Um, and it was during 2020, all that schman schmimic stuff that went down. And luckily here in Brisbane, we weren't really locked down at all. We
mm,
just had a couple of times they kind of closed off the state borders, and that
right,
kind of helped contain it. And we didn't have to wear masks very much. Maybe just like a few weeks out of the whole thing. It was pretty awesome and freeing over here. It's kind of like probably what Florida would have been like, I suppose. And because I guess we are the Sunshine State here as well. And but overall, like I wasn't traveling anymore. I wasn't getting
mm,
like the cruise ships were completely dead. And so I was just like, oh, it'd be fun to like, I have some products, stuff I bought on Amazon. Let me just make these videos. And then I made a couple of GoPro videos without any expectation on them whatsoever. And they took off, and people started watching the GoPro stuff. And I learned really quickly, like, you have to milk the heck out of these videos. Like, don't think that your audience is going to be like, oh, another GoPro. I mean, some of them might do it,
yeah,
but if you want your channel to grow, you got to do as much as you can on that product, and, split it up and be like, how to use the menu, how to do this, how to whatever.
yeah.
And
Break them all
that,
up into
that
yeah,
helped. Yeah. And that
yeah,
helped a lot. And also, um, just get straight to the point, like that was my thing, is I don't want to show people like, hey, let's go to Walmart and let's buy a bunch of other groceries. Okay, now let me show you this product. It's like, I want it to be just what they click on.
yeah. Well, that was going to be the next question. Why was it GoPro? So it must have been because it was there. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah. I
handy.
mean, it's not like I didn't get it for free. I, I went because I wanted a new GoPro, and it looked cool. The 9 came out. That was probably a good reason why that helped, is that 9 looked different.
Yeah.
People were wanting to know, is it better than the 7? Because a lot of people got the 7. And yeah, that's now I actually have contacts with GoPro, which is pretty cool. They don't send me everything, but they've sent me some stuff, which is very validating.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was as it seems to go along. Well, yeah, probably since I guess probably the last year, you seem to get more stuff from this manufacturer to
Yeah,
just put it,
DJI and Insta
yeah,
360 and
yeah,
GoPro.
put that information out there. So, yeah, I think that's a good validation because when you go look at somebody and watch what they're talking about, and they come up and say, so and so sent me this to go ahead and show you what this does and get some ideas and things like that. So then you're like, well, this guy must, have some connections, or he's been doing a really good job for the last, however long you've been on.
it
So,
is a hustle.
and it's a hustle. Yeah. So you're good at what you're doing. So people take notice, and that's a good thing to know when you're going to go watch somebody talking about a
Yeah. Well,
product.
I mean, but there's one thing that I want to be very clear about it is when people say it must be nice to get free products, it's like time is valuable and it takes a lot of time to learn a product. I have
Oh yeah.
this thing I have to make for this week. It's like it's like whale, it's like almost like Lego, and it's like, but it's like engineering. I have no idea. I have to like learn it all and figure it out how to use it and then make the video about it. Even free, like if I get a scooter, it's like I have to learn about it, but going out and getting the footage of it and like test writing it, making sure it's good. If a product does actually suck, and like a lot of people are like, if you know everything you review is good, I'm like, well, because I don't show the bad stuff. Meaning, like,
Yeah.
if so, I have products that are just terrible that either I just tell you, listen, you're gonna have to fix this, and then I can review it, or I'm not gonna review it because or I make a video and say this is terrible, and then they
Yeah.
go, oh yeah, yeah, we'll work on that and send you the updated
Yeah.
version of it.
Right.
And
Right.
that's why I don't have video like products that I hate.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then, yeah, if you're people are sending, it seems like if people are sending you products all the time, and you're going, this thing's a piece of garbage, then
Yeah.
where's the
And you
credibility
can
from
kind
that?
of sniff them out a little bit too, where it's like if it's in like another microphone and it's like like I have so many wireless microphones here, and I've tried, like you've seen my channel, I've tried to
Oh yeah.
give away so much stuff, and I mean I have given away so much stuff, and yet it still kind of accumulates. Now a lot of times, like this webcam that I'm using right now, I'm going to be doing a review and giving you a shout out on this webcam is different than other webcams. Like if something jumps off to me and it says this is more innovative, they're doing something
Right.
different, it looks different, um, I'll review that. But if it's like, hey, we have another microphone that looks just like all the other microphones, it's like, well,
Yeah.
do I want to spend the time to do that, or would I rather
Right.
spend time building up the channel with GoPro videos or other
Right.
action camera videos?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it seems like, yeah, you can only review so many. Yeah. Because I'm always looking for a microphone. There's a interview I want to do um, here just outside of town, and I want to go to that place. But I don't have a wireless mic, and I start looking at them, and it's like, well, here's one that's $30, here's one that's $40, here's one that's $80, and here's one that's $220. Which one do I want to buy? Which
Dude,
one's
I'll tell
good?
you what. Can I tell you that those Uvanzi, I think they're J44s, the dual microphones that are, I think
Right.
it's like 30 $40.
Yep.
Those are, and they plug right into your iPhone if you have an iPhone. Um, those are fantastic for the price. Like you can't beat that. Like I'm blown away by those. I mean, the next level up to me is like going like with the DJI ones,
Right.
which I'm actually using right now, plugged into a bigger. I use the
Right.
wireless. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but that if you're looking for a good microphone system, oh yeah, because then you
Yeah.
have two, and then it just works great.
Yeah. Because yeah, she's well, I'll just tell you. She is I haven't asked her yet, so I don't think she's gonna see this. So um she runs a model train museum. And
Oh, cool.
I think that model trains is probably pretty much dominated by men. And it just seems a little, little odd to me that, here's this lady running this model train museum. So I'm just going to go, find out, why in the heck did you get, why are you the director of a model train museum kind of thing, and it probably all comes back to upbringing and things like that. So I would want to go to that
Yeah, it's
museum.
a good. Yeah, it's an interesting story. I
Yeah.
love those kind of stories.
Yeah.
How'd
Just
you get here?
Yeah, how'd you get to where you are? So, like you, how did you get to Australia? How'd you get up? You know, did you think of those things? On that path. You end up in Australia, and then you're married, and then it's like, COVID comes along, and now you're what 100? What are you, about 150 people viewer 150,000 on YouTube now?
Uh, no, sorry, subscribers or
Yeah,
like viewers?
subscribers. No
Oh no,
subscribers.
no, you're selling me way too high. I'm under 50,000. I'm at 40. I have the little
Oh,
Ulanzi clock here. Let me see. This is exactly where I'm at right now.
I thought you were. I thought you were way higher than that. Oh, that's a cool clock. That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it rounds down, so it might be almost 800. Who knows?
Oh, it rounds down big time. Well,
Sorry. Now you're like, man, I shouldn't have had you on. You're too small.
no, no, that's not. It's the point of just meeting interesting people. That's where
Yeah,
I
I know. I'm
where
just teasing you.
yeah, where I come in is like I'd rather meet and talk to interesting people and find out their story. And um, yeah, did you see yourself 2 years ago here?
I wanted it. I really
Did
did. And
did you?
like I was always a person that would like I could walk into Radio Shack and just spend like an hour just like looking at different things and thinking about how I can use this and use that and like, whoa, that's cool. I didn't realize that technology works. So this office now is like a Radio Shack. I mean, there is so much going on, so many cool little products and things that it's very fun. And I do like getting that stuff to learn how to use and play with. It does, it is time consuming. That's the
Oh
important
yeah,
thing that people need to know.
yeah. I just it seems like you're putting out what 2 videos a week?
uh I try to do four.
Oh my goodness.
I think at the peak of growth, I've learned that like my channel was growing faster when I was doing 5 videos a week. I mean, that's a lot of work, yes. um I try to do at least one GoPro video a week to appease that audience. And then I do this thing called short, not short, which is just like it kind of takes the pressure off of a product review where it's just like, let me just show you the product. I don't have to like give you like crazy real world experience and footage and stuff like that. Um, and that's a lot of companies that write asking if they can, if I can do a short, not short for their product. And I'm like, yeah. That's the easiest one. Um, and then 30-second Thursday is the same way. It's never 30 seconds, but I just kind of tease it. Like it's
Right.
just, here it is. And yeah, then just I have like a schedule that I kind of lay out, but I try to do about um four products, because when you do less, it stacks up. Like then all of a sudden you're like 3 months behind, and it's like I need
There's
to
boxes
this video is going to
everywhere.
get out of date. This video is going to get out of date really quick if you don't. Yeah, the
Yeah,
boxes everywhere.
yeah. People sending you.
And actually the big one happening now is Amazon influencer. So I've been
Oh
on
really?
that since I think since September, maybe before of last year. And so if you go onto an Amazon, product, and you scroll down, there's a lot of like influencer videos, not like the people that rate it, like, and
Right.
then have like their own submitted videos. These are like Amazon influencers, and I have like maybe 350 videos out there right now. And it's like the more you put out, it's not even about growing a channel. Like you don't say anything about subscribe or whatever. You
Right.
just show the product. You give the user or the person that's wanting to buy it a real world, like this is what it feels like, so
Right.
that they know what they're kind of getting into. And um, those videos are, compared to what I do on YouTube, they're so much easier because
Hmm.
there's like not it's a very low pressure involved, and they can be like 30 seconds to a minute long, because you would just want to hold their attention for at least 30 seconds, and then you can get an affiliate from it.
Hmm.
So it's a very and I know some people that have been doing it that they make crazy money, but and they're like they get like a lot of products shipped. And I think that they're trying to work out new ways to do that, so it's not like a lot of waste,
Right.
like the boxes and stuff. So it's like almost trying to find ways to make it more digital, like how to review things that are not there, but you can
Yeah.
still talk about it. Or I don't know.
Right.
I think that would be it'd be kind of cool. But also it's always fun to, so it's like Christmas time every week here
Yeah.
at the house. You get a bunch of boxes.
Bunch of boxes come in. Yeah, that's the one thing I just man, I could imagine, having a bunch of stuff show up and then you have a time crunch. You're basically doing another job, your time crunch and
Yeah.
you got to get that video out. Especially in the electronics world or
Yeah.
computers or anything like that. Cause 6 months from now that microphone or that even, the camera, we went from 9 to 10 to 11 in
Every year, yeah.
just about, yeah, year, like 2 years,
Every
three
year.
years. Yeah. It was like boom, boom, boom. So, nine's outdated now.
Yeah, 12 will be out in probably September or October.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, I have a 10 and it's like, well, what am I going to do with this thing? It's going to be, you know,
Yeah.
get the new best camera out there. And now it's
Yeah.
not even,
A 10's great. I mean, the 10 was better than the 9.
oh,
The
yeah.
11's better than the 10, obviously, but I would still rate the 10 really high. Like if that was the only camera I had, I don't think you're missing too much on the 11. Um, depending
Yeah.
on what
No,
you do.
yeah. Well, just kind of doing my other channel, just going out and walking around, just showing, this is what this average American does in their average house. And well, I don't live in an average town. I live in a teeny tiny little town out in the middle of nowhere. There smells like cows more than it does people. And so that's where I ended up at.
I kind of want you to like interview yourself because I want to hear your story about the Air Force and
Yeah, all this stuff back here.
yeah,
Yeah, I've, well, yeah, if you had a channel, you could do it. But
if I had a
yeah,
channel.
yeah, to interview people. Yeah, I'm not a
Wait,
product.
wait. I have a question though. My only
Yeah,
question, if I had to ask one,
no, go away.
have you seen any UFOs while you've been flying?
No, I don't. I never flew, so
Oh,
I
you
didn't
never flew.
fly.
Okay.
No, I took care of the pilots. Like, there's a helmet up there. I can't move because my arms are so bad. That's a
See,
helmet.
spoken like someone that was told not to talk about the UFOs they saw, by the way.
Yeah, no, I never,
I'm just
never
kidding.
saw.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, nope, never saw anything. Well, I shouldn't say saw anything interesting. We always saw interesting, crazy stuff, but yeah, it was just kind of an average. Didn't really deploy anywhere. Didn't do anything. So just did my job. Did it
Well,
for
thank you for your service.
21 years.
I'll
Yeah,
say
you
that.
bet. So, but yeah, now I just have some time to kill, and I do this stuff. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
So
I'm excited to see what happens.
what's on the horizon? What are you looking at in the next? Well, you just yeah, didn't know about the Amazon thing. Is there something else coming up that you're looking at?
Um,
I know that you did
it's just
your July.
yeah, July
Uh,
was last
yeah,
year. I'm not sure if that's going to happen this year. I have to kind of like break down the analytics sometime. Like it's interesting when you try different things and just see what it does. Obviously, it's great to kind of connect with your audience a little bit more with the live streams, but when you feel like you're phoning it in sometimes and you just have to do it to do it because
yep,
you're saying you're doing it every day and you kind of run out of things that you want to talk about. Like, and also there's something about conversations like this are great, but when you have live streams, you get distracted a lot
yep,
with comments and you also you feel like maybe you say too much stuff when you probably shouldn't and it's a little bit trickier. So like I started doing shorts and I've noticed that my channel slowed down a lot more since I did shorts, which is
hmm,
interesting because you'd think that it'd be the opposite. So, but I keep an eye on that stuff to make sure. It's like I'm probably done with shorts at this point because I feel like they don't really bring in a lot um, of outside people in because that's kind of what shorts are supposed to do.
right,
I think if you're going to be a shorts channel, you be a shorts channel. You don't
right,
be a YouTube channel. And man, I'm a fan of YouTube. Like I've so many people I follow, but
yep,
I hate when I'm using my computer and you go to your subscription feed and it's just like short, 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 short.
yeah, just all shorts,
So my big thing, like I, I'm proclaimed it on my channel is like, I'm going to like, there's a button that you can click that says, don't send this to your subscription, like the people that are subscribed to you, like, don't send it out to them. So every short that I put, I unchecked that box so people wouldn't get annoyed with short form content. I kind of wish that people would do that, like
yeah,
all the other creators, because it's like it's kind of annoying, really, to be honest. I don't know why YouTube hasn't done a thing where it's like just unchecked and then shorts are gone, like
yep,
from that feed. So,
yep,
but as far as the future, yeah, it's just that's the tricky part is you want to grow and grow and grow. Um, products are going to keep coming in, new cameras, and have to be smart about it. I need to get a little bit more clickbaity. I've had some help with some other people coming in to help with some like things on my channel, and hired my wife. I hired my wife like a year and a half ago maybe, and she runs all the emails. Like, so when people email about like products and if you want to review this and that, because that was just overwhelming. I mean, at 20,000 subscribers, it was too much for me to handle, because I had to like, you know, organize it all and then kind of keep track. It was just, and then you have to make the video. It's just like too much. So it was great. That was one of the best things, is bringing her on board with that, because then she can kind of like suss out if it's a scammy or like, just a waste of time. We kind of have a rating system, like if it's going to help the channel, if it's not going to help the channel,
Right. Right.
how many of those we bring in. And then I think the main thing in the future that I've been looking for almost a year now is a studio space outside of my house. So we have a house. This is a spare bedroom, and it's been great, but it's just not big enough, and not just size wise. It's just, I feel like there'd be something nice about being somewhere else from home, so I can separate home from
Right.
work.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yep.
because when I'm at home, it's like, well, I might as well work on some stuff, and I'd rather just be like, okay, I'm home now.
Yep.
It's home time, not work
Yep.
time. And,
Not work time. Yep.
when YouTube is more of a hobby, yeah, that's fine. But when it becomes like you're a full-time YouTuber, and it becomes your job in a sense, then you need to have some boundaries. Otherwise you get burnt out really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. Well, it's like this is a big family room in our basement, and this is the cleanest wall. I had the toilet upstairs leak in
Oh, no.
50 gallons of water poured down through the ceiling. So that's all brand new wall and brand new ceiling over there. And it's an absolute disaster on that half. And you can't even, so it's like, yeah, I can understand, the want and need to have a separate space, because right now I got a dog running around my feet, and it's kind of difficult
Well, it's
to
distracting. And even
yeah,
like when you work from home, sometimes, I just walk out to the kitchen to like get a snack or something, or get a
and
drink. And then I'm like, oh, the dishes need to be done. I'm going to do the
yep,
dishes. And
three
it's just,
three
it's
hours
just,
later you're back in there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, it'd be nice to have that. But another really cool thing that's coming up soon is the vlogging in public challenge.
Yep.
And the reason why this is cool is that accessory company Tellison, by the way, who doesn't pay me any money. I don't make any money from them. But they send me a lot of products, and I will get some affiliates if people use like the discount. Like, they save money and it doesn't cost them any extra, and then I get like a kickback
Right.
for that. And they they've already done one giveaway, Hero 11 giveaway on this channel, and then they wanted to do another one. And they're like, and to be fair, giveaways are hard. Challenges are hard. It's actually a lot more work for me to do that stuff than to just keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Like, because then you have to kind of keep track of submissions, and then you also feel bad when people don't win, but one person
Right.
wins, yay, but everyone else is like, oh, they're all
Yeah.
mad.
Yep.
So it's it's not easy. It's not something that I I mean, I loved that I can do it. It's great. And so the vlogging and public challenges, they wanted to do something. They're like, can we do something with vlogging? And I was like, vlogging in public is so hard. It
It
is
is
really
hard.
hard.
Yep.
And I feel like in that challenge, if you don't win, you still win because you did it, because you're overcoming that fear. And if you want to vlog in public and you're able to do that challenge, then you're going to feel like, okay, I know how to do this now, and I can feel comfortable doing it in other places. And especially when we'll watch them back on the channel, and people can see it, and they can see how they were, and they can kind of, I
Yep.
feel like I feel like everybody wins in that scenario. But yeah, so Tellison, they want to give away a Hero 11 and some other prizes as well for like the people that didn't win first place. So that's gonna be really cool. And we'll do I think I'll do like I'm still trying to work out how I want to do this exactly, because it's kind of, I don't want to watch a ton of submissions on one public live stream and then have to vote that way. Like, that's going to be just a nightmare. And then also if some submissions are terrible, I don't want people to rip them apart in
Oh
the
yeah.
chat. So I think it might be a members, like we have a members only. It's like $1. I think you're a member, or
Yep.
you were a member. I don't know. Yeah,
No.
you're a member still.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's $1 a month. I made it as low as
Yeah.
possible, because then it's just, I don't really care about the money. It's just nice to have that,
Yeah.
like people are members. And so I think we might do a member stream, and then we'll watch and do like a March Madness thing where it's like we have brackets,
Oh,
and then
bracket. That'd be
it'll be
fun.
random, and then we'll see who gets to the final four, and then I will do a public stream
Oh,
with those
yeah.
final four, and then the public get to vote on those to see who wins. So that seems like the most fair way to do it. Like, and then in that final one, public one, we can I can share some, like I can, cut up some clips of all the other submissions and stuff just to
Right.
kind of show it. And, but you could see how like that is a lot more work
Oh
than
yeah.
just
You're just
like playing with products.
yeah. Now you're yeah, you're just I don't know, you're glutton for punishment, or is it something that's or is it something
Yeah.
that is gonna bring on, because people are gonna come up, they're gonna get a camera, or they realize that their cell phones are just as good as some of those cameras
Yeah,
that are out there. And
absolutely.
yeah, oh, I'm going to Italy in a month, and I thought about, should I take my 10, or should I just take my Samsung uh S22 Ultra? And I started looking at it. It's like, well, then, this and this, I got to bring all this stuff along, and I just have this phone, and it'll do almost the same stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like,
But there's the only thing that about the GoPro compared to like the phone is the stabilization.
yeah,
So you can get, like, especially if you're walking in an area, and you can just hold it out and it just looks so smooth. It's
yeah,
insane. The quality, like that hyper smooth, is ridiculous. On a phone, they have some of that, but it's
yeah,
not as stable. I think for me, the combination of the GoPro and the phone, because then you can get those like bokeh shots, like
oh
of like
yeah,
a something in your hand, like, or like a menu or something.
yep,
You could get that really close focus, that, and then also zoom shots like from far away. I think it's just that's the ultimate combination. Now, the Insta360 X3 is also something to consider, because the GoPro is way better in quality. But as far as like, if you want something to share with people that are just, it's fun, like you can have that 360 footage. It's easy to edit. You can play
yep,
around with it. You can do some really creative like tricks at different spots. Um, that's where I go with Insta360. It's phenomenal what they do.
yeah. I was just looking at I'm going to be in Venice, Florence, Rome, and Sorrento, and I didn't want to be dragging around all these extra cards and all
Yeah.
this batteries have to worry about charging all the time, because I'm going to be 8 hours at Pompeii, and how many
Yeah.
batteries am I going to have to change? How many cards am I going to have to change? And it's just like, just turn on the phone. I have a little
Yeah.
USB, just
Power bank.
power bank, and then I have a US a memory, like a little memory stick. Just plug it in there, and it just dumps it to that little
Yeah.
memory stick, and it's just like, boom! I can just turn it on and
Oh
go.
yeah,
And
dude.
I just bought a little. And the one thing I've learned about Samsung versus Apple, and you're an Apple guy, Samsung does not like to let their any um, gimbals use their software. So I can't go in there
Oh.
and use the zoom on there, because Samsung won't release that.
Oh, like a DJI
Yeah, you
gimbal
can
or
zoom.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can zoom it in and zoom it out. You can't do
Yeah.
that with it. There's a couple of things you can't do with the Samsung, and it's just like, well, this is ridiculous. I don't want to spend all this money, and there's maybe 5 or 6 things you can't use on it. So I just bought this teeny tiny little gimbal, super tiny, and all it is just a gimbal. It doesn't do anything for me. Doesn't zoom. Doesn't I can't change anything. So I have to do it all on the camera, on the phone. But it does what I want it to do. So it'll be nice, super smooth, and do all those things that
Yeah.
unfortunately, um, and I'm not going to switch to Apple. Just not going to do it.
I've heard
Just
that
not.
many times from people, and then they switch and they're like, yeah. Well, a lot of times they'll switch and they'll be like, I need to go back, and then they'll come
Yeah,
back again and they'll be like,
yeah,
I'm in for the long. Like, I'm not just. It's not because I'm an Apple guy. I think Apple's just always worked for me. And
Right.
that was back maybe like, it must have been 2001 or something. And I used to work, do PC stuff all the time. Although I was editing in those jobs that I had before on like an old Mac. And then I think they got some new software update, and it was like all of a sudden web browsing was just a lot easier than it was
Oh
like
yeah.
on Explorer. And then my PC crashed out of nowhere and I lost everything because I didn't back it up. And I was just really frustrated. I was like, you know what? These Mac things are pretty cool. So I went to the Apple store and got like a 17-inch MacBook Pro back in the day. And that was my first computer that I bought, because the other one was like a family computer. And I was just like, this is awesome. And then I ended up working at the Apple store for like a couple of years,
Oh
which was
no.
a great job. I loved it. It was back when people would literally come in and go, what is an iPod? I've been hearing
Yeah.
about this iPod. Like
Yep.
that's when I
Oh
was
yeah.
working. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
yeah, so that's my love affair with Apple began there. And I think that's just because I know so much about it. Like I can kind of troubleshoot it. If there are any problems, they don't seem like problems to me. It's just like, oh yeah, I know what
Yeah.
that is. Um,
Yeah.
and then with the iPhone, it's just the ecosystem, like everything kind of works together so well. So there's been times that I'm like, maybe I should look into Samsung, because a lot of people do like it. And I think more so I use these things for the cameras than anything else.
Oh yeah.
Um, and there's some really impressive Samsung cameras and apps and things like that out there. But then I got the 13 Pro, which now is well old, but
Yeah. Yeah. My son just
and
bought the 14 Pro just for the trip to
yeah,
go to Italy, and he loves it. He's just he
that
just loves
camera
it.
is the
Just
cinematic
it's
video still blows me away.
yeah, it's
It
crazy.
still blows me away.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I can't wait. I might upgrade to the 15. I try to do like 3 or 4 years between
Right.
phones, but like as this channel grows and it's like product stuff, it depends on
Yep.
what the specs or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna have
that'd be
to
cool.
yeah, you're gonna have the phone to keep up with the with all the accessories that you can use
Yeah,
with that
true.
phone. So yeah, because I'm finding out that there's a lot of things that Samsung doesn't let you do with certain things, and gimbals just happen to be one of those things.
Look at
Very
you.
dis
You're so close to switching. You don't even know. You're just setting
no,
you're setting your ways. That's the
no,
problem.
I am. I'm an
You
old
gotta
man that's just a
you
grumpy
gotta
old
you
military guy
can't
that's
teach an
just
old dog
no,
new tricks.
no. I'm not gonna do it. Not and I yeah, and I would get the razzing of the lifetime for forever if my son would just be like, yeah, you had to switch to Apple, didn't you? Because Samsung's terrible. It's like, oh, so I can't do it just because of that.
Hey,
So
no, no, no. If it's spite, basically you're depriving yourself on a really nice life on
oh,
the iPhone side. But
and
don't do it out of spite.
yeah, and it's the same fight with PlayStation and Xbox in the house. He has an Xbox, I have a PlayStation. It's like, man, I've been playing on PlayStation since they came out. I don't want to switch over to
Yeah.
Xbox, and yeah, it's a big fight all the time. Oh, Xbox is better. Whatever. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
always
I used to love gaming.
that's all I
I'd
do.
stay up all night playing Halo,
Yep.
and I know that's Xbox, but I also stayed up all night playing PS2,
Yep.
and like what was it? Grand Theft Auto when that first came out. I was played that so much.
Yep.
And when I went on ships, I I got rid of all my consoles, because you can't, like, you could
No.
play like, locally or whatever, like as far as people like right there with you, but like you couldn't go online because the internet was so bad on cruise ships. So it's like I just, when I stopped doing that for like 2 years, I never got back into it. And there's been
No.
times since I've been living in this house, it's like I could get a console, and then it's just like,
No.
when am I gonna have the time for that?
Yeah, don't do it because yeah, you're not gonna have any
Yeah,
time to do it, or you're gonna start dropping off on your YouTube playing
it sucks up
playing
time.
playing video games.
It's like TikTok. Have you ever been on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. I do
Do
shorts
you
on
like,
TikTok.
but do you like find yourself like, oh wow, 3 hours later, I've just been sitting here just
Staring at
binging all this
yeah,
stuff.
all the
Not
stupid
that it's
stuff.
bad, not that it's all bad. I mean, because you could skip the stupid stuff pretty
Oh
quickly,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
um, but you just find yourself like lost in this. It's to me, it's like pokies. Sorry, that's what they call it out here. It's like slot machines. It's
Oh yeah.
like you don't know, like, what's the next pull? Is it going to be the jackpot? Like, is it going to be
Oh
like a
yeah.
great
Oh
video or
yeah.
not? Like, and that's the draw of why you do it.
Yep.
And So I'd get in those like little zombie habits every now and then. And I'm like, oh man, what a waste. I'm mad at myself, but at the same time, it's a guilty pleasure.
Oh yeah.
And but then I'll go on a cruise ship and I won't use it at all. And then I'm like off of it. I'm like, I'm off. I'm good. Like I don't feel the need to click it to get into it. And I think that I need to stay off because it
Yep.
does suck you in, man. It is so.
Yep. Well, and
Are they gonna make it? Are they gonna get rid of the app?
yeah.
I heard some
Oh
chatter
yeah.
about that
Oh yeah.
in
I
America.
Yeah, I bet probably here in the next maybe 2 months. Yeah, they've already put a bill forward to get rid of it. So yeah, Congress is gonna say no, no, it's gone. So
What do you think
so,
about that?
I don't know. It's one of those things of, you know, in the States you can go and, you can go do whatever you want, buy whatever you want and use whatever
Yeah,
product and do all this other stuff. But then there's that side of it too that says, if China's really doing what they're doing with this thing, maybe we don't want it. But I look at myself going, who cares? They can have, what are they going to see? The inside of my house or, my
yeah.
backyard or,
I
and
think it's more. I agree with that sentiment of saying like I don't care if the government's spying on me. I have nothing to hide.
yeah.
But I think that it's one of those things where the overall picture, like this is a small mosaic of something that you don't see
Oh yeah.
that
It's just
like later
yeah.
on will be revealed and you'll be like, oh, that's why they wanted our information. Like you're in a
Oh yeah.
dog collar,
Oh
like
yeah.
a shock collar. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have let
Yep.
them. Anyway, my problem with it, if they get rid of it, is this actually because of China or because I don't, I mean, I work with a lot of Chinese companies. They're lovely people. Um, and I think is it more, is it because of China or is it because Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they're like, oh, they're stealing all of our market share
Oh
and they're
yeah.
putting the pressure on the government to get rid of it. And then
Yeah.
and now that they've already developed their shorts and they're whatever they call,
Yeah.
they're all called shorts, right, on
Yeah.
Instagram and
Facebook
I think on
Facebook has
and
shorts.
YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. They
So
all.
if it's that, then it's like, well, that's not really fair. That sucks for the people that built up their audience on TikTok. Although I guess they could just say, well, we're going over to Instagram now, and then
Yeah.
but
Well, I think.
Instagram's like ad city, man. Like every
Yeah.
single third video is like an ad, and it's just like, come on.
But I don't know what you would say. The betting line in my house is the Vine will come back. Now that um, Elon Musk has got Twitter, and he'll just bring Vine back, and that was
Was
pretty.
Twitter? Did Twitter own Vine?
I think so. I think that was
Oh,
one of those things that, or they bought it out and dumped it, and kind of did that, and then that's how TikTok came along. And
that's all interesting. The stuff that happened with Twitter, like I just want to know, like really the reasons behind buying it. Like if it was because he actually liked it or because he wanted to expose all the stuff that he exposed. Or basically is Twitter just a means to an ends for a different thing? Like he's using it for the data
oh,
centers and all that stuff
oh
to
yeah,
use it for Neuralink. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, so it was just like that's because it's like, why would you spend that much money on it on something that's losing money? But he knows, there's
Oh yeah,
obviously there's always hidden agendas behind all of it. Not that they're bad agendas. It's just like
yep,
everyone thinks it's like one thing, but it's a completely different thing.
yep, yep. Yeah, the world of social media is getting to be pretty interesting as what's going to happen in the next, what's going to be the next big thing. I think Zuckerberg came out and said they're not going to do the Meta. I think that's going away.
Really?
Yeah, they're getting rid of that. Something,
That was a
something.
dumb idea, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. So they're going to get rid of that. But then you start looking at, VR was supposed to be expected to be VR everything by now, and
Yeah.
we don't have anything. I think PlayStation is about the only thing that's really going VR right now.
VR is, I mean, when you try it, it's quite amazing.
Oh yeah,
It's I even if it looks cartoony, I remember there's one I was like walking out on a ledge. I'm like, I know this is not real, but my brain
yeah. Your
doesn't know that
brain
it's not real.
freaks
And
out.
it was really weird. So I could see that. I think like I do think Apple will develop something with it. But usually like, in Apple fashion, they're waiting for some other companies to have it so then they could do it a little bit better.
Right.
like,
Yeah. The Apple
so
fashion. Yeah. Yeah. Let somebody else work out the hard stuff first,
yeah,
and
I'm
then,
sure
yeah.
that they spend a lot of money on R&D and stuff. I'm sure they've have so many prototypes of that stuff too,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, I think I didn't know that about Meta, but I'm glad. Facebook to me is dead. Like, I don't go on Facebook at all.
Yeah. I
I
know.
think that I don't understand it. I do still post some stuff.
Yeah.
Did you say because
Yeah. Because I said, when I first tried to contact you for this, I put, I couldn't remember your email address to get a hold of you. And it's like, and how am I going to do this? So I thought, well, I'll just
did you
hit
message
you on,
me?
I mentioned you on Facebook, and then you're like, oh, I haven't looked at this in like 6 months or whatever. And
Oh, yeah. That's right.
yeah,
Okay,
it's like,
well, see, Messenger I use all the time, but I use that for my personal thing,
oh,
and then I have
right,
a page, and I barely go onto that, because
right.
it's just I mean, it's a couple clicks away, but it's just kind of
Yeah.
like a lot of times you click on it because you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with whatever's in those messages. It's a lot of spam and stuff, so
Oh, yeah.
you just kind of
Oh,
you put it away, and then you just don't think
yeah.
about it, and you're like,
Yep.
oh, maybe I haven't checked that in a while, and you're
Yep.
like, oh yeah, sorry about
Yeah.
that.
No, yeah, I haven't checked. Yeah. A couple of my email accounts. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I wonder if I should go over there and check that email. And there's,
Yeah.
10,000 emails in there. And it's like, oops. So yeah, yeah, it's a crazy, yeah, you have to hire your wife to do all that stuff.
Yeah. But
I understand.
yeah. But having said that, like, Facebook Messenger, I'm just sorry, I'm looking at it over here. It is that is the best thing that came out of Facebook. It's like, I don't even want a phone number, to be honest. I'd rather people just be like,
Yep.
message me on Facebook, something that I can easily look up things later, a call or video chat. Um, I think that is one of the best parts of it.
Well, like
You
it
don't have
because
to have a context list. It's all there.
yeah, it's kept that history there. So if you don't go back today or tomorrow or even a week from now, you can go back and still see what the conversation was about. I like
Yeah.
that part. So
It is nice.
that's pretty
Yeah.
good to be able to do that stuff. So yeah, it's just an interesting time. I'm in my mid 50s, and I look at the world when I grew up. We didn't have any of this stuff. We didn't have any of that stuff, and I was the first generation to get Pong and Pac-Man and arcades, and now here we are. My cell phone has more power, or almost the same amount of power as this laptop that I'm on, and it's crazy what we can use and utilize. And you're a perfect example of that. Is you're getting all these products coming in, and you're just trying to just give out all of this information. This is what this does. This is how you can use it. And you
It's a
know
nice way to adapt with the technology as well when you're doing this. I think that's like, if you buy a product, this is what I tell people, like, if they buy a GoPro or if they buy microphones, like DJI wireless microphones, I'm like, make a video review on it. Maybe you don't care if anybody watches it, but you learn so much more about that product. Like, there's so many times I was like, oh, they do this, they do that, because I'm just doing my research or I'm clicking buttons,
right?
and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, they like, this is great. Like, so then I make a list of it, and I was like, I think I was like, my video on this was like 12 hidden features that people didn't know. And it's because I just kept going, wow, like, it just blew my mind.
Yep.
So, like, in a lot of technology out there, it's like you'll get it for one specific feature, and then you don't realize it does so much other stuff.
Right.
And I think that that's the best part, is when you go through and discover what it does. And I think that's why sharing it with other people makes it so much more valuable to you, because then you learn what it does, and then you're up with the next iterations because you know what the old ones did or whatever.
Right. Well, it might even be the thing of where we are now is because where um, I work at Lowe's in flooring, and people are like, "How do I install this?" It's like, just go to YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
Go to
yeah,
YouTube. You
yeah,
you know there's
yeah,
20,000
yeah,
videos on how to lay a floor, or put carpet in or take carpet out, or you're looking at buying something, just I need a new mouse for this one's not doing very well, so it's like I need a new mouse, so I'm going to go look up wireless mouse for laptop, and boom, you're going to get 10,
yeah.
15 people that are going to do some kind of review
And
or
you know what? That is probably the most powerful part about YouTube, and why I don't think YouTube's dead, and I think YouTube's great for product reviewers and stuff, is because we're also a Google search. People go on Google, they search, and then you get maybe a couple sponsored links, but then you also get the YouTube videos that are
right.
most popular. And if you search a lot of GoPro stuff, you'll see my content, which is great. I'm, that's awesome. I think
Yeah.
it's a cool testament that it works. And like a lot of products, you'll see, I think that's why I get a lot more like views on certain videos, is because people do a Google search. And that's where you try to sit back and you think, what is a need that people want to
Right.
search for? And then you make that video, but you have to make it very clear that that's the video, like that they're clicking on. And you can clickbait it a little bit. Actually, clickbait has a terrible term. People they think it's bad. I think
Right.
clickbait is a good thing. But I mean, clickbait when it's the product. So like
Right.
something that is it makes you click. You know what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah.
bait. It gets them to click.
Yep.
But it's the content that they want to. It's the right content for them.
Right.
Obviously, if it's like some chick in a bikini and they're holding something, and there's the videos about, it's you sitting there
Yeah.
talking about the product with no chick in a bikini.
Yeah.
That's a little bit clickbaity,
Yeah.
like
That's
in
a
a
lot.
bad way.
A lot. Yeah. That's a lot of it. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I think, really YouTube has become is, yeah, it's a Google search because you're gonna, well, like, yes, I started playing on an Xbox. It's terrible. And I had to get a PlayStation controller because I don't like the Xbox controller. So I got a PlayStation controller to play on the Xbox. And I wanted to
Cool.
know if I could stream on Twitch with my GoPro. And that's the first thing I did was typed in, can I stream on an Xbox One with a GoPro 10? And the first thing that pops up, you just put it in the search, and the first thing that pops up is like 5 YouTube videos on how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not there, you don't get some web page that breaks it down. It's some guy that's on YouTube saying, hey, this is the
Yeah.
steps that you follow. This is how you do it. And then you go from there. So,
And I have thought, as trying to grow this channel and this brand, there's a missed opportunity where I started to do this, but it's just a lot of work, way too much. Like I feel like I need to like have, I need to hire some people in, but like creating web content, because people do want to watch a video, yes, but a lot of times you'll want to click on a web page, see the steps to do it
right.
right there. You know what I mean? You don't have time to really watch a video, or you're worried that it's going to be like a too much, hey, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
And
I
I don't need
just
to
want
know
to
this guy's
know.
backstory. I just want to know the answer.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's where Chat GPT is going to
That's
take
scary
over,
stuff. That's
where people
scary.
can just type their question there. Hey, can I
Yeah.
stream from Twitch with a GoPro? And Chat GPT will be like,
Yeah.
yes, you can. And here's how
Yep.
you do it step by step.
Yep.
I mean, that'd be a great way to use that for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is a bit it's scary. Yeah, the
Yeah.
AI thing. It's
Yeah.
scary when they develop feelings and
Well, yeah, that
all
was
that stuff.
wasn't the Google robot or something like that that they had to shut it down after about an hour because she was all nasty, and
No, that was Bing, I think. Yeah.
yeah, somebody they had to shut her down because she was getting all nasty and calling people
Well, I
names and
think
things like that.
Facebook did something like, or maybe it was Google back in the day. They developed a chat, and within like an hour, they started developing their own language,
Right.
talking to each other, and
Yep.
they were like, "Wait a minute!"
Yep.
When they had to shut that down because
Yep.
they didn't know what they're saying,
Yeah.
which was really
It's
creepy.
it's scary. Yeah, you start to see
Yeah,
the Terminator stuff. It's like, man,
yeah,
it's scary stuff. So yeah,
yeah,
that Chat GTP, I started messing around with that stuff, and you just like you said, you just type some of those things in, and it's like, bam, all this stuff comes out, and it's like, where's it getting it
yeah.
all? And
Well,
you know,
have you seen the one that's like it's AI, but it fixes your audio? So
no,
it's there's an Adobe software, it's free to use and it's web based. And you take your crap audio, like if you have a lot of echo or a lot of wind noise, and you put it in there, and it is studio quality. I mean,
wow,
I'll explain why how I think it works in a second, but like it's like it removes any noises at all. Like, I mean, you could have someone way back there talking casually and there's a big fan in here, and all of a sudden that fan is gone and you hear them crystal clear, like they have a microphone.
wow,
And what I think is happening is it uses like the closed caption, like it knows what you're saying, word, like the word you're saying, and it samples your voice, and it cuts everything out, and it uses that sample of your voice to recreate your voice completely from the scratch,
hmm,
and just going with the words. So that's amazing, but also I'm like, is that bad that they have samples of your voice like that for who knows what? And
Well,
on my videos, you
they're
notice
doing
I
it in the
use
movies.
oh yeah, yeah, totally.
They
But
do
I
it
was
in
gonna
the
say on the oh yeah, yeah, with on Maverick, right? The
No,
uh
they did it in Rogue One where Carrie Fisher was she'd passed away
oh
and
yeah. No,
they
but
pulled but
the
they've done
Maverick
voice.
movie,
Oh
you know,
yeah,
the guy Val
Val
Kilmer,
Kilmer.
like
Yeah,
his voice is completely screwed
yeah,
up, and so they just sampled his voice from old things
yeah,
and did it. And
yeah.
but um I mean, I think that there's a cool aspect to that where in the future you can have like AirPods, maybe like you have your hard of hearing, and what it instead of just like trying to denoise it, it just takes what they're saying and like
Yeah.
actually just AI generates their voice and goes into your ear. I mean, or like if you go to Italy and you have a piece in there and someone's speaking Italian, it could
It
translate
translates
right
right into
there,
your yeah.
which would
I think
be amazing.
I
I think that's where the technology is going.
I think there is a thing out there where it's just a little brick and you talk into the brick and the brick speaks out the language that
Yeah, you
you're
could do that
doing.
on your phone with
Yeah, you can do it on
like
your phone. I was like, why do
in
you need that?
Google.
You Google, yeah, Google Translate does
I
that
mean,
for
but
you
that would be
now.
cool to have a conversation in
Oh
real
yeah,
time
in real
without having
time.
to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, but I think that yeah, you should check out that software if you have crap audio. But the reason why I put a lot of the time I put beats behind my videos is because then it's really obvious if someone tries to take it and
Oh
put it
yeah.
out of context or anything like that, because then
Right.
the beats won't line up or the music will be off or the cuts will be weird. Because like if anybody even in this conversation, I guess there's no beats behind this, but it's like they could take it and
Not
like
yet. Not
the
yet.
Homer Simpson hard line or hard rock or whatever. He was like he sexually harassed a girl, not really, but like grabbed a candy off of her butt, and then they interviewed him and like they cut it out of context, but there was a clock behind him and the clock kept changing like
Oh,
every
skips.
word.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you not
Kept
remember
moving.
that scene? Maybe
No,
that was
I don't know.
it
Yeah,
would have been back in the it would have been early Simpsons, like really
yeah,
early, but it
there's
was
been so many Simpson stuff that's been around
yeah.
forever. So yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing I'm looking actually I'm what I'm waiting for is when you get to your big silver button. So
Oh, I
that's what
know.
it's
That's a dream to hit that 100,000. That'd be a dream. It is a hard road, and I thought me and my wife were like, we could try to get that this year, but it's kind of slowed down. Usually this time of year it slows down anyways because nobody's buying products, and or they're
so
not looking at different things. Uh, so you just got to go for it. Hopefully we get
yeah,
there, and if not, we had a fun ride, I guess.
yeah. No, you just I think it's the a great service, that's we just talked about that is the Google search and um you're always looking for something. I had just had some AirPod, not I don't use AirPods because I don't know why. I probably could link them up to my Samsung, but I'm always looking for new earbuds. I'm a phone. I love my phones. I always have almost the newest phone all the time, and I always get good earbuds. And I bought some earbuds, and they didn't stay in. And I probably should have did a product review on them, but I didn't do it. And boom, right back to Amazon they went. So
Yeah,
I'm going to start looking at what people think. I just want something that's cheap, not cheap, but not super expensive. And that's the first
yeah.
thing I'm going to do is what are the best ear pods out for 2023, and then boom, I'm gonna find
I just got these AirPods Pro 2 because
yeah
I just bought a new laptop. I mean, it might seem like, oh, I get new technology all the time. My old laptop was from 2016. So this is a new laptop, and my Mac Mini that I normally edit on was from 2020.
wow
Um, so I don't like, yeah, it's not like, oh,
yeah
I'm rich, I can buy all this stuff. No, like I pace it out properly, but
yeah
there was a deal going on where I can get like money off of AirPods Pro 2.
right
I put them in my ear, and honestly, I thought I was driving my car, going back, and the air was on, and I put them in my ears, and I thought my car stalled because everything
it
went off,
is
and
gone
I have never experienced that. And so now I'm using them now for this interview. I actually bought a pair for my wife. They arrived today because um, her birthday's coming up, and I was like, she's got serious FOMO about them. Like before that, I was using uh Padmate, what are they called, Pamu or something like that. Some that were sent to me to review, and I use those for maybe 2 years.
well
They're great. and
Yeah.
they're cheap. They're like maybe $60, $70.
Yep.
It worked awesome, but there's a reason why these are so good. And like I am so happy that I have these now. Um, and especially traveling. I had
Yeah.
a duo partner on the ship and he snores really loud. So I put these on. He was gone.
He's gone. So that
It was great.
active noise reduction on those.
Yeah, active big time. And then transparency mode where you can turn them on and it will amplify people talking.
Oh, that's
So you
nice.
can hear them and hear your music or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sell them to you, but there is something to be said about spending the money. The reason I didn't go for AirPods, I had the original ones, and I think there was $250 at the
Yeah.
time, and they last. I think I had them for maybe 2 years, and then all of a sudden it was like after 10 minutes, it was like beep, boop, 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 it
Yep.
would
Yep.
like go, and
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I guess 2 years is with that small of a battery, that's going to
Yes.
happen, but I wasn't expecting it. So I was like, that felt like a waste of money. So then I looked for the alternatives and um,
Yep.
they were good. But then now switching back, I'm like, oh, these so
Yep.
good.
Yep. I always go for the Samsung earbuds are just it's like 300
Yeah,
bucks.
I'm sure that they'd be the same. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're
It's like,
expensive, but they'd probably be really good. But it's just once you do it, it's hard to justify it. But yeah,
and
I'm
I'll,
loving it.
yep. Then I go and hit
Loving it.
those. I hit those. I hit that search. Boom. Best earbuds for Samsung. And then I hit, watch 3 or 4 videos on different, a couple different people products. And I think I, you might not, well, I hope you do, you hit 100,000 people, but, there's always going to be that because everything's changing, technology's changing, it's moving up, it's getting better and better and better. And, um, you're always going to have to keep up with it. And people go to, that's what they're going to. And
I do feel like there might be a slowdown period coming up because of the state of the world as far as like the inflations and like um
could be,
uh with Taiwan and China and Russia and Ukraine and chip shortages or things like that. And after the pan shamshimik, I don't want to say it out loud right on YouTube because you don't want to but I think that there could be a slower period. I think even like looking at GoPro, they said they're going to have like 4 cameras out last year, and I did a video about it because the guy said it in his call, and he said like their new 360 was going to come out for sure.
mm,
Never didn't come out, still hasn't come out. They did like their mini and the GoPro, and then they had like a Bones, something for like FPV.
oh yeah.
But they also made it clear that they were going to bring out one that was like a bigger kind of creator, like one for creatives. Um, so yeah. Anyway, so just the fact that those didn't come out makes you think, okay, there might be a slowdown period.
Well,
Might
yeah,
not be every year.
I don't know if I'm sure you hear, there's people getting laid off everywhere on these
Oh
big
yeah, true. Yeah.
companies out here. So it's like, well, that's,
Facebook just lost another 10,000, I think,
yeah,
people or something.
yeah. So it's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies, it's things start to happen and then people get laid off and more people get laid off and then people don't buy products
Yeah.
and
Or
then
this is
you're,
just the result of the lockdowns.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it obviously doesn't happen right after. It just like
yeah,
there's some period of
yeah.
time that
Well, yeah,
it can carry over.
it's been 2 years now since pretty much the end of them here. So yeah, it could be that, yeah, everybody is free and they go out and start spending some money and then, now they don't have that money to spend anymore. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm not an economist, so I did sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, but
I
didn't,
remember those commercials.
yep, yep.
As a Holiday Inn Express, by the way.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time to the guys in the military. They're like, "Can you do this?" I was like, "No, but I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night," and get everybody laughing because that's one of the things I did. I was an instructor for a long time, so this is pretty.
It's time to bring up the sponsor today, Holiday Inn Express.
Yep,
I'm just
yep.
kidding.
Won't get any money for that one, but like I'm not in for it for the money. I'm into to meeting people.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's more fun that way. So have a
I wish you the
conversation.
best of luck on this channel. And
Yeah,
I'm a subscriber, so I know you just started recently. So I'm at the early stages of
yep,
subscribing. So I'm interested in seeing
yeah,
the guests that you bring on.
yep. It's a little hard to find some people that want to talk about what they do. So yeah, there's a guy I've been getting at Gold Pans in Southern California with his kids, and he does not want to come on. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah, I just think it's somewhere there's an interesting conversation and a family dynamic where you have your kids on there is when do you, when do you
Yeah,
bring those
that's a
kids?
that's a tricky one. My nephew wants to get into it and do product reviews, and he started a channel and made 2 reviews. And I told him if he gets 20 reviews before I'm coming out to visit in a couple months, it's like I'll bring him like a really cool product or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's only done the 3, and I'm like, so that's what happens. Like they lose
Oh
their
yeah.
excitement for him really quick.
Yeah. Because
And
it's work.
but also I told him like he wanted me to set up a channel. I'm like, I can't do that. Your parents have to do it because there's a lot of
Yeah.
weird stuff with kid
Yeah.
stuff on YouTube. It's like
Yeah.
I don't even want a part. I don't want any part of that.
Nope. No, it's yeah. So I always want to get that, that conversation where people that just, like review movies or review things and they bring their kids on some of those things. It's like where did that conversation go? It's when can
Yeah,
when are we gonna let our
yeah.
kids in on that? So I'm always trying to
Al-
find that kind of
yeah.
information because it's interesting.
Although I tell a lot of the kids now, they're asking, how do I become a YouTuber or whatever? I'm like, dude, learn like engineering. Like we're gonna need a lot more like house builders and construction workers than we
Oh
are
yeah,
gonna need
yeah, YouTube.
YouTubers in the
Yeah,
future. So do that. Be smart.
yeah. Well, yeah, my youngest son's a welder, so he's been a welder for about a year. So he goes
Yeah,
off and it's like,
that's
dude,
that's smart.
do something that's always going to be here because there's always going to be a need to weld metal together. So
Nice.
not.
Speaking of all of that, I actually have a package being delivered right now. I
I was
got to
going to
go
say you
to the
hear
door.
your dog barking.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
so
I can barely hear him with the
yeah,
AirPods now.
yeah, your dog's barking. So yeah, well, no, yeah, uh, really appreciate you coming on and sharing what I
Yeah,
thought
thanks for having me.
was interesting. Where does a guy from the U.S. end up in Australia who's a musician and now is a full-time YouTuber? Where did that path go? That's an interesting path to find out, and that's
Yeah.
why I brought you on here
Well, there'll be
to talk.
always more to the story that we'll have to catch up on and like in a year and see what happens.
Oh yeah, no, I'll follow you and throw some snarky comment every once in a while, and
I appreciate
and
that.
and then I always just like to watch people. I'm a people watcher, so yeah, I go to the mall and watch people walk by.
That's always
That's
fun too. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, thanks for coming on and really enjoyed it. And best of luck to your channel. And hopefully, you'll hit that you hit the big first mark of 100,000 subscribers.
That'd
And
be amazing.
yep, that seems to always be the big target when people start moving along is hit that. That's the big. I've made it.
So,
Got the
yeah.
silver. I got the silver.
Slow and steady. There's something to be said about slow and steady as well versus like
Yeah,
overnight success because then you have
yeah.
like
The
at least
flash in the
you
pan.
worked up to that. Yeah, you can kind of understand where you're at and what you should be doing by that
Yep,
point. So
yep. But yeah,
yeah,
thanks a lot for coming on, and yeah, hope the best for you, and yeah, maybe at the end of my summer and the start of your what would be our fall and your spring.
yeah,
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 yeah.
because it's finally starting to warm up here, and there's no more snow on the ground, which is nice.
Oh, that's good.
And
Yeah, it's
and
starting to get cool here, although it's like Florida weather, so it's
oh
not like ever
yeah,
cold.
no, we've had snow on the ground since before Halloween, and this is now the first week that we have not had snow on the ground. So
Ooh,
it's been
I miss
cold.
snow though.
No, I don't. I hate it. If I
I
could get
miss
out
it
of here.
for a day. I miss it for a
Yeah.
day, but
When you gotta go out and
not
shovel
for
it and
yeah, not
drive
for a
in it.
season.
Yeah, and drive in it, it's crap. So but anyway, yep, Danny Black, I'll get all your information below. And thank you very much for entertaining my curiosity and finding out what makes you tick.
There
Well,
you
I know what's going on. I'm not an amateur. I just look like
go.
one. So, but
And you stayed in a Holiday Inn Express as well.
and I stayed at Holiday Express. So, but yeah, thank you very much and best of luck to you.
All right. Thanks. See ya.